There we go. Good evening, everyone. This is our weekly Wow Wellness AO team business building call. We are going to make an offer this evening. One of our team members has some really great tech skills, and not all of us are so gifted. So she wanted to ask if it was okay to make an offer to work with people that would like to have improved tech skills. So, Anissa, I'm just going to turn this over to you. This is Anissa from Canada. She's amazing. We love her, and we're so happy to have her.
Hi, thanks. Yeah, so I've been kind of attending Zoom meetings since December when I first got the AO scan, and it's just a pattern that I've noticed in the last, I don't know, 8 months or so, 9 months, of people just struggling with some of the platforms that we use, like Google Drive or even like searching for things on Facebook even. So, and the reason why I wanted to do it one-on-one also is because everybody is at a different place in terms of how savvy they are or how comfortable they are with these platforms. So I kind of want to meet each person where they're at. And also, different platforms will be more comfortable for different people, right? So there is not like a right way of doing it or a wrong way of doing it. It's just what you feel good using. And it's important for the experience to be a positive one. You want to enjoy using these platforms. Otherwise, you're going to be like, ugh, you're going to like procrastinate or find reasons not to do it. And the thing with the scanner is that, I mean, I'm sure some people do like in-person scans or they work with people in real life, but most of it is online, especially the fact that everything we can do on this, we can do remotely. So there's kind of no way around it in terms of growing our business online if we want to grow our business. And having just the basics and getting used to these technologies is just, it's going to be important. So instead of taking 10 minutes to look for something that's in a menu somewhere, I would just be there telling you where it is. And as soon as you find it, that's it. After that, you know where it is, you know where to go look for it. You're not spending 10 minutes every single time looking for that one little detail that's going to get you to the next step, right? I also don't do any of the screen sharing because I really believe that people learn by doing. Like they have to, this is my mouse, by the way, because I have a shoulder injury. So I had to switch from using like a mouse to this. But um, if you don't do it yourself, like if you're not actually moving the cursor yourself and clicking on it to do what you need to do, it's not registering. If you're just watching somebody else do it, even if they do it really slow, you're not actually like experiencing it and getting the immediate like the gratification of like the result from it and then learning from that, right? So that's why I really think that having you guys share your screen with me and me just verbally guide you to where this information is, and then you guys doing the moving of the mouse and clicking and finding the things, it's going to really make it all concrete for you. Yeah, and then some things like, I mean, it can be anything. So I'll give you some examples. Google Drive, including Google Sheets and Google Docs and the folders, organizing the folders, using Telegram if that's what you use, Slack, some people like to use that with their groups, Canva, Adobe Express, which used to be called Spark. So that's for like making visuals for your marketing. And even Zoom. There are some people who are using Zoom, but they don't know about the recurring meetings or, just automating things a little bit more. Same thing with Gmail. I don't know if you guys have heard of Boomerang. That's extremely useful with, so for example, scheduling emails rather than sending the same email every week, you would just schedule it and it would automatically send each week. And
Oh my gosh, you're kidding me.
yeah, Boomerang does that. So what I use Boomerang for a lot is when I get an email and I'm like, okay, I don't have to respond to this email right away, but I need to look at it again in 2 days. So I will I will click the boomerang button and it'll ask me, when do you want to receive the email? And I'll set the date. And then it will show up in my inbox again on that date 2 days later.
Oh my
So it
goodness.
doesn't get buried, you know. So
Wow.
miss any and then we can also use Zapier for some other automations. That's a little bit more advanced, but again, like it depends on where you are. Some people might already be building their own websites. And then, you know, we can talk about implementing some automations through Zapier, especially if they have a list. And I don't know how many of you actually use CRMs to keep track of your prospects and where you're at with each prospect.
I have tried, but I find it very overwhelming.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's maybe a discussion for later. I think I'll get an idea once I work with everybody individually, like where the group is at. And then I can actually find out what the needs are and what would like boost everybody. So a part of it is also my way of gathering data about where everybody's at so that we can like get the training that we need. Yeah, I also build websites.
Wow.
I do have a website for that, but I turned it off because I'm focusing on my healing business. Put it on hold, but I might reactivate it. We'll see. But yeah, I am familiar with Squarespace mostly. If anybody's already using that platform and needs help with that, I can totally guide you with that as well.
Goodness sakes. Wow.
Yeah, so we can do it in 15-minute increments, 30-minute increments, 45-minute increments, or 1 hour increments. Some things, it might just be like a small thing that you need help with, and it might not take a long time. So, you know, you can just book me for 15 minutes. And then some things might take longer than we expect, right? Like sometimes it kind of opens a rabbit hole and we like go from one thing to the next and end up like doing this big thing. So it's completely up to you how much help you want to get, and yeah, and which areas you need help with.
Wowee. That is incredibly valuable. So you have a lot of knowledge and skill in a lot of different areas. So probably covering everyone because we're all using different things. So
Yes.
that is really helpful.
I mean, I'm not like an expert by all means, and there are things that, you know, I would like to learn more about, like using hashtags, for example. I understand that. I still don't get it, but I have been. My brother is 8 years older than me, and he grew up like immersed in technology, and he's like a super whiz. And I've been using him like whenever I have a question. I mean, I go to him still to this day. And I know what it's like to be on the other side where I'm like the learner and he's there like showing me. And when he's on his screen, I can't even keep track of where he's going. Like he goes so fast. He barely uses his mouth because he knows all the shortcuts. I'm like, how did you do that? Like how did you end up there? You know, like he's super fast. But you know, obviously he doesn't have the patience to teach me, right? So I do have the patience. I work with children. They have sized my patience muscle a lot. Yet I get satisfaction from like watching people learn at their own pace and, you know, really witnessing like the confidence grow.
Well, the fact that I loved when you said that you want to do individual because you want them sharing their screen with their hands on their keyboard. That's me. I have to do it myself or I'm not going to remember.
Yes.
So that's really important. Does anybody have any questions for Anissa? Any questions at all? Unmute yourself, raise your hand, whatever you like to do. All right. So, one thing that I get asked a lot about helping and supporting, as we love to help each other, especially within our team. But if we spent all of our day just helping people, we would never be able to earn money. And so when someone has expertise and skill, it is, for me, I am more than happy to compensate them for the time they've taken to spend with me, teaching me something they had to pay to learn as well. So Anissa's offering a very generous gift of $40 an hour. That is, I think, very, very cheap. And like she said, you can break that up into 15-minute, 30-minute, 45 or 50, however much of her time that you want. So I think that's incredibly generous. Yeah, I think you're going to get a lot of response. And do you have like a booking link, or you just want people to hit you up in Messenger? How do you want to do that?
Yeah, I did provide the link in Messenger. I posted about it this morning, but I am trying to think of a place where I can permanently have that link.
Okay. How about the QLA Facebook group?
Yeah, if it's like if it's pinned somehow so that people have access to it.
We can actually put it in a guide.
Okay, yeah.
We can make a guide for tech support or whatever you want to call that.
Because I find when we put things in Messenger, it gets buried
Oh, yeah.
because so many people are pinging and they're in the wrong group, or they're posting in all three groups, and you get
Yep.
lost trying to find something. So I like the idea of putting it in the guides.
Yeah. Having a whole guide just on that for you and your link.
This is why I like Telegram also, because you can actually pin messages to the top. You can pin the rules of the group, the and things like that. And sharing files and media is easier with Telegram as well. It's searchable, it's easier to search. And but I mean, if most people are more comfortable with Messenger, then we should just stay there.
Well, in the Facebook group, our QLA group, not the chat group, but the actual group, the
Yes.
Wow Wellness QLAs. So we
Yeah.
have guides in there, and people can just go to the guides and they can find tech support. And then if you have anything you want to share, that's your whole section. That's your guide, like it guide 27, say. That's all Anissa. It's her link, any information she wants to share. It's just all you.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea.
And then I had I had a question. I forgot what it was. Oh, okay. I can't remember what it was.
Eventually, based on what I see, like what the biggest needs are, eventually what I plan on doing is creating Loom videos that we can just post right to the guides so that people can just watch them on their own time if they need guidance with something. But the advantage of doing it like one-on-one in real time is that it's so customizable and able to like use the platform without any fear of messing anything up, you know?
I'll also need, so I have a lot of people that are not on social media. So that's why all of my communications will be through email. And I know some people hate that because most of us get 1,000 emails a day, but that is the only way that I can reach everybody. Like I said, not everybody does social media. So I just have to do it that way. But I will like your information that I can send out in a group message, because we have a lot of people that aren't plugged into social media that might appreciate your help.
Yeah, you can just actually just copy and paste the caption that I sent you and send that to your group or your email. I mean,
Yeah, that is wonderful. Also, just to let you all know, our German team is freaking awesome as well. I'm on calls with them every Thursday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, because that's 8 in the evening for them. And one of them does not even speak English, and I love her to pieces. But we always have a translator. She has taken she has taken and translated everything to German that Dr. Stefan has not done, and all those playlists that I sent that I finally converted to Word. She's got them all converted to German. She's got everything in the scanner converted to German, and she's actually made a shareable document that she's going to have in German and English and share with us. I was just blown away.
I have to mention another thing about Telegram is that they have translation capability in the group chats. So, you can just click translate and it'll just translate. So, I mean, we would be able to reach people internationally using that platform.
Yeah.
Not slow things down at all. Whereas Facebook Messenger does not have that capacity.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's great.
Yeah, we do have a channel. We have a European channel on Telegram for the Europeans.
Mhm.
So that's where they communicate. All right. If no one else has any questions, if you don't have any for Anissa, do you have any in general?
I have a general question.
Yes.
About the YouTube videos, the Solex YouTube videos, the weekly updates on Wednesdays. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I kind of feel like I wish that the educational portion separated from the business building portion that's in the beginning. Because I mean, to me personally, that's a huge deterrent. Like, I often don't bother listening to them because I don't want to go through the beginning part. Like, especially in the first couple of months when I'm still learning to use my AO scan and I'm not ready to build my business. I want to learn as much as I can about the scan and how to use it, and the reports and stuff like that. And until I'm comfortable, until I'm confident, like I'm not comfortable sharing the technology or marketing it. So, but it's like, it's kind of tedious to have to go into each video and look at the timestamps or whatever and have to skip through it, especially if I'm on my phone, which I often am with kids and stuff. I'm kind of on the go a lot. So I don't know if it's something that I don't know if they do that deliberately for, their own reasons.
They do. It's really important. When I first joined, I didn't plug in because I'm busy. I don't have time for these calls. But when I started plugging in, it lit my fire. And then I felt like I was part of a real community. And it is important because there are a lot of announcements. There's things that people need to know, because I can tell you how frustrating it is to be building a large team and nobody plugs in, and they're constantly asking you questions because they don't bother to plug in. So that's why I love the fact that they do the updates in the beginning, because people need to plug in and they need to get the updates. They need to know what's going on. And they have it to where you can watch it at your own convenience. Like maybe you don't want to hear all that stuff, but you do need to know what's happening because there's some big stuff coming, big stuff, and you do not want to miss this. I don't know. I feel that the response has been it has made people feel more of a part of a community, because there's conversation going on, and it just, I don't know, you get to know the corporate, they're just like family to us. So that is their format. They like doing that. They like giving things away. And then they like to have that second half. It is intentionally, the second half is education portion. So that's what they have found to be very successful. The feedback that I have seen is when people do start plugging in, they stay because they feel like they're part of something. So I don't know if they could maybe timestamp it to where it would be easier to find what you're looking for.
I think they do. Yeah.
They do that. Okay, I'm not good at timestamping, so I don't know much about that.
I know when I had some issues going on in my personal life that I had to step back from building and step back from attending these calls and whatnot. It was nice to stay in the loop and I could go out on my pad or my computer. Now, I didn't do it on my phone, and I realized, you're at a different place with kids and trying to catch up on your phone. But I could pull up the YouTube video and I would just slide the slider over to when I saw them start to go into the education. So I stayed up to date on the education part. And I just felt like my Wow Wellness and the other group would get me caught up on any updates. So I just kind of let go and just said, okay, I can only do so much. But I did stay plugged in. And by staying plugged in with the updates and the education, I still felt like I was part of the team. So
Yeah.
that's a good point. And if you can't, yeah, I understand the yucking it up and the okay, well, we're doing this and reading the things. But it's to the point where I celebrate. I don't know these people. Oh, wow, they got a thing this week. Okay, cool. You know, it's being part of a big corporate structure, and it's ways to keep you in rather than being isolated. So I'm just saying this to concur with you, Sheila. I do see where it helps hold, it's the glue that helps hold the thousands of people together.
Yeah, and the fact that they celebrate people, I have also found that to be something that keeps people connected when they feel celebrated. Now, not everybody is going to be a builder, but there are a lot of people, more and more, that are very passionate about financial freedom. We have got to become financially free, and network marketing is about the only way to do that, except for investing. And I don't have the time or the resources to do investing. I've tried it, but I've been with a lot of different companies, and I could tell you what sets Solex apart is the fact that they do that weekly call. I've been with companies where you never hear from the CEOs, you never hear from the owners of the company. They don't care. They're making money and they really don't care what's going on with you. This company actually asks you, what are your questions? What things can we improve on? They're constantly asking for feedback because they want to make this our company. So it's not some guy up there that's just got this thing and we're all making all this money for him. He's one of us. And I love the fact that they do take the time to celebrate people. If you're not in the place that matters to you, then you just skip through it. But for a lot of people, that's really important, and it keeps them motivated. And like me, I can't beat Rita for nothing. It drives me crazy because I'm very competitive. But I love to see who's winning top and roller this time, who's really getting to work here. And I love celebrating our team members. When our team's out there on the front lines, I'm like, yes, that's our team. So that's celebrating. A lot of people do tend to really appreciate that, and it does seem to create longer lasting business relationships and keeps your teams it keeps people more involved. So I understand where you're at. There is a reason for the why they do it, but you can, for the time being, use the pieces that are valuable for you, and then maybe someday the other pieces will be valuable. Does anybody else have any comments on that? Any feedback?
I don't have any comments on that, but I do have like a little bit of a thought stirring up in my mind that I just wanted to present to the table. Neil, hold on just a second. Sorry, kids in the background. My thought was, so with my nutrition business, often what I do when I'm onboarding somebody is I provide them emails with a nurture sequence. So I'm sending them an email like welcoming them, and then like a week later, I'm sending them another email with other things to do to start with their nutrition and all that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of nurturing them. I wonder if there's a route that we could go with Solex with the onboarding, creating some sort of nurture sequence with our QLAs where we have, like the welcome email that you do, but then kind of continuing to nurture, maybe even like not even every 7 days, but maybe once a month or something like that, where it's like, hey, you can build, or like giving them tips on how to launch their business and stuff like that. Just little like tidbits on how to be successful. If there's something that anybody wants to like maybe even work on that with me, that'd be something that I'd love to just even create. I love creating Canva documents. So like even something like that to begin with, and then we can expand it into an email. Those are just some of my ideas. I have a couple other ideas, like when I was having issues with my my Alpha Pass today, just like helping her like figure out how to log in, and then nurturing her over those 3 days, saying, hey, like, did you try the inner voice, kind of having some sort of automation. And I like emails, so like setting it up with a nurture sequence in an email and giving them sort of some sort of, how's it going today, what have you tried, try this today, or like even just step by step. One day try inner voice, the next day try easy scan, and then the next day maybe play with Cephis or something like that. Just something so that they're not feeling overwhelmed. I had also considered with that even creating like a mini course so that the prospects and the QLAs can log into that stuff. So that I'm saying that like that's something I'm totally interested in. But if somebody wants to help even give me like little bits of information that I should be adding into it, or that wants to work on it with me, I'm definitely opening up the floor to like, yeah, work together with that.
That's awesome. Sandy, Harvey, and I actually have talked a little bit about some of this. It's just my time is so maxed. There's so much I would love to build out, but where to find the time is the issue. But these are great ideas. I agree with you. And I would love that more personal touch. And I know that people appreciate that. And that's one thing that we do hear about people that come into our team is the fact that there is a lot of engagement and a lot of support. So I know that's what people are looking for. And I do know also Solex is working on more business building. That's why they hired Anton and Sophie. Sophie, I've seen on Facebook doing a lot of other stuff. I don't even know if she's still working with us, but oh, Anissa is interested in collaborating with this. This would be wonderful. But I know that there's stuff in the works, which is how we got our new PowerPoint and the new bundles, because I was part of that control group where they sent out surveys and they were asking us, if we did away with the scanner, what the top products were. It was a grueling thing. And I was like, please do not take away our scanners. People need these dedicated devices. But they didn't listen to me. But anyway, that's where some of the things coming from. It frustrates me because I'm like a freight train. I'm ready to go. Let's get stuff done. And some things take time, and it's taking a little more time than I thought. So this is also great feedback that we can give Solex. I think we're going to have more success doing it on our own, or we're going to maybe get it faster doing it on our own than waiting. So great ideas.
To add to that, the like you were saying, doing just a little guide where you're nurturing them for the 3-day pass. But then once they come in, I know we have Solex University, but that can be intimidating to a lot of people when they see, oh, I have to take a test. Oh, and so that, oh, I'm not going to, it's a procrastination excuse. Oh, I need to wait and do that when I can really listen so I can take the test and pass it. If we were to create some sort of a quick guide, like you're saying, not the whole unit, that's Solex University, but just something that now that you've joined, there's so much information, it can be very overwhelming. Let's start this week with just doing inner voices. Just do your inner voice, and then, encourage them maybe 3 days later. How are you feeling? Is something changing for you? Have you noticed? Look back and double check. Did you make notes of how you felt when you started? And then leave them alone. Then the next week, start in with, okay, let's move to, you've got inner voice down. Let's move to easy scan. I reached out to, who's the one you had me reach out to yesterday, Sheila, on the homeopathic?
Alice.
I reached out to Alice, and somebody had asked her, and you had mentioned 2 weeks ago the easy scan. And I went, oh man. And so we've started doing that. And so somebody asked Alice, do you do easy scan, or do you do a voice and then a vital and then a comprehensive? Oh no, I do this, and this, because I want to see all of that data. And I'm thinking, yeah, you're a NASA engineer. You love that data.
I don't.
That data goes, what do I do with this now? Okay, so now I've got to spend 2 hours trying to export it into an Excel spreadsheet, go in and filter, and I still don't know what I scan.
And
I think-
Lauren will tell you over and over and over, stop,
Yeah.
quit complicating it.
So it just, but I mean, it made sense that Alice would gravitate to that. And
Yeah.
after last night's call, they said everybody's different.
Yes.
So Alice gravitated to each individual one. And you, with the multi fingers of everything you've got going and the glam babies and everything, the easy scan, get it done, get the optimization and move. And
Yes.
so that's where, Cassandra, what your idea, help them with that 3-day pass so that becomes a joiner, a member. And then from there, don't just ditch them. Do that same thing that they got used to. So it's almost 2 different packages that you'd be creating. So, and Sheila's starting to yawn now, so we need to put her to
Sorry.
bed.
Well, this was powerful. This is really powerful. I am so grateful for all of you and those of you that couldn't even join us this evening. I know you're there and we love you, and I'm so grateful for you as well. So reach out to one of us if you're listening to the replay here and you've got thoughts, ideas, want to contribute. We love collaboration. That's another reason I love this team, and that is my intention with this team is we are doing this together. It takes a tribe. None of us can carry the whole weight. I can't carry the whole weight. I don't have half the skills that a lot of you have. And when we bring them together, we create really beautiful things. So thank you so much. Thank you for acknowledging the call to join Solex, because I know you were called. I was called. And I love this company so much and the technology. And I love each and every one of you. Thank you for giving up your time to join us this evening, because this is a sacrifice and I greatly value it. Mwah. I will see you next week. Let me know if you need anything.
Good night.
Good night.